one of the benefits of, it being summertime is, more daylight, because I completely forgot my recording equipment at the house. So apologies if you hear like any background noise and stuff while the review's going on, because I'm an idiot and I forgot my equipment. But enough about that. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reaction, and this movie right here was the main reason why I wanted to come up to the movies today. Typically, I don't go up to the movies whenever, I have work the next day, because, it might screw up with my sleep schedule and stuff like that. But I could not miss out on this opportunity. And the movie that I am going to be talking about is Dogma. Yes, the much beloved film that it was written and directed by Kevin Smith. It is now celebrating its 25th anniversary, and it stars Linda Fiorentino. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. Chris Rock, Salmahayek, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, the legendary Alan and of course Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith himself. And it tells the story of two angels, Loki and Bartleby. They are on a quest to try and basically screw over God's plan of kind of casting them out. They hear that a church has kind of, rebranded itself and is going to be opening its doors for everybody. So they see that as their ticket back into heaven. So the angels and basically all of heaven have basically coalesced together to this one lady, Bethany, to basically try and save existence as they know it. And of course, along the way, she gets all sorts of help from Jay and Silent Bob, from Rufus, which is Chris Rock's character, and Serendipity, Salma Hayek. Will she be able to stop Loki and Bartleby from going inside that church? We shall see. So, I wanted to see this because, one, it's Kevin Smith, and two, I actually saw this with my father, which, he's a massive Kevin Smith fan, and has had the fortunate distinction of meeting, I think, Jason and Kevin a couple of times. And I think that's really awesome for him. And so I've been trying to play catch up on his movies, and this one was probably his most well-received film, I would say, critically. I think I checked while I looked up the cast. I think it's in the high 70s on Rotten Tomato, whereas like his other films, I think, are below that. Much beloved by his fans, but like, not as well received, critically wise. But yeah, this movie, I actually found it because, again, me being relatively new to watching Kevin Smith movies, most of his movies are like, joke-centric, like with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot film, his Clerks films, and even to a lesser extent, Tusk also has a bit of that as well. But they're, like I said, mainly focused around the comedy. This one, I think, is his most serious film. Like, there are still jokes in there, but not as many as I thought, which at first threw me off. But then, as I got more into the wavelength of this movie, I actually really, really enjoyed it, because the main, I think, thesis for this movie is like, how do I want to put this? Like, faith is a good thing. Having faith in something is a good thing. But sometimes that faith can drive people over the edge, which is, why we have things like, war and, hate on the internet, so on and so forth. Like, that's the reason why we have so much of a divide, is because of faith. And faith can, like I said, powerful thing. And like, maybe I would say 50% of the time is used as a good thing. But that other 50% of the time is, a bad thing. And, as, again, someone who is, going to turn 25 years old, I've not lived that long of a life here on this beautiful spaceship that we call a planet. And this just may be my a way of looking at the world, me being the optimist that I am. But I always try to see the good in anybody and everybody that I meet. And that's just how I've always lived my life, and that's how I continue to live my life. Because I believe, I have the faith that there is something good about a person inside of them. At something that makes them happy. Like something that, whether, you're left or right, or, however you fall, there is at least one thing that can bring us together and just put aside our differences for, maybe a couple hours. And, I have those in, like, my nerd fandom, and with wrestling, and with talking about movies. Like, that's why I created this channel, is because I wanted to have a fun conversation about movies. Not look at them, like, critically, or talk about all the negative things that I see in films. I just wanted to celebrate these films that are being made, because film is one of the few meritocracies that we have left in the world that can just, be a form of escapism for us. And so, now granted, is that what, Kevin Smith was wanting to kind of talk about when creating this? Maybe not, but that's what I took away from it. All of the performances in this were, like, really, really good. Especially Alan Rickman. God bless him. Man, I wish we still had him around now, because he is such a lovely presence every time I see him on screen. One of the things that I did not know about this movie was Howard Shore. He did the music for this, and I was completely surprised by that. I was like, holy cow, Howard Shore did the music, and the music was really, really good throughout the movie. I gotta say, like, one of the most underrated performances in this movie was probably Jasonlee as Azrael. I actually really, really liked his performance as Azrael, as just kind of, a guy that's kind of like, sitting on the fence, just waiting to see what happens, and then, oh, I'm going to side with you because you're winning. Like, that's absolutely amazing. I love that as a kind of, like, a villainous character. But yeah, this was an absolutely fun watch with a really, really good message. Again, performances for everybody is amazing. There were a few surprise cameos in there that I was not expecting. And yeah, it was just a really, really fun time. And I'm very glad that I got to see this with my father. So yeah, that is my review slash kind of discussion of what I took away from Dogma. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there, and remember, find the stuff that brings us together. Find commonalities between us, not differences. Or, I don't know, just do what Jay and Silent Bob do and just, get a whole bag of weed and smoke it. I don't know. And I will see you next time.